Hey, Chris Liepe here with the isolated vocals for Even Flow, Eddie Vedder, Pearl Jam. These are really fun to listen to because in addition to his vocal performance, there are all sorts of subtle effects that, when I was younger and listening to this song, I just thought he had a really bellish, cool voice. But when you listen closely, especially in this isolated fashion, you hear delays, you hear subtle preverbs, I'll call them. So we're going to unpack his vocal performance, but we're also going to unpack some of the recording techniques or ideas that went into this vocal performance or the vocal mix. And I know that Eddie has said multiple times that he didn't really prefer the mix of 10 and that he was much happier when they went to remix it and remaster it. If you haven't checked out the remix of 10, definitely do that. It's amazing. I prefer it to the original. But I still there's something nostalgic about this song in general, and the way it was produced, the way the effects work together with the vocal performance is awesome. And it creates a lot of opportunity for us to be inspired in how we not only perform, but produce our own vocals. If you'd like help with your vocals in general, and you'd like my help in particular, you want me to come alongside you and become your vocal coach? Click the link below and join my free voice course. That's the best place to start, and there are a lot of paths, including private lessons, that you can go down from there.
Oh, feeling, maybe he'll see a little better Saturdays.
First of all, I love hearing the headphone bleed. And for those of you joining me for maybe the first isolated vocal analysis that I've done, I've got to stop at frequent intervals so that I can keep the video up. Copyrights and Google algorithms make it so that I can't play long sections of each song. But I really love hearing the headphone bleed, and I notice here,
maybe he'll see a little better.
It sounds like that was a quick mute punch sort of thing going on there. It's neat to hear those things. Never would have heard it had I not done the isolated vocals. Listen to the delay on his vocals.
Freezing, rest his head on a pillow.
How it comes in on the freezing, rest his, and then the delay comes out. It's an automated delay up. I'm going to show you how to create that in a little bit here. But for now, just take note of it and listen to this. Delay again.
Faces that he sees, stomach and ain't that familiar. Oh, the grin, he can't help when his happy looks insane.
Oh, and you hear it. You hear the oh in a very drenched, reverby thing before he actually says it, but it's the same track. It's super cool. At first, I thought that it was reversed and put in, and after experimenting with it a little bit, I think there might be some instances in other, especially this era of recordings, where they do reverse, but this sounds like they've taken the original vocal track and they've moved it forward and then cross-faded in and out of this extremely wet verb. Like I said, we'll set that up a little bit later here, but I want to get you into the whole vibe of the song.
Oh, the grin, he can't help when his happy looks insane.
That's cool there. So, when you listen to this ending here,
When his happy looks insane.
you get a good sense of the room reverb that's on his voice as well.
Even flow, thoughts arrive like butterflies.
Delay on the whole time and that neat harmony underneath.
Oh, we don't know, so he chases them away. Yeah. Oh, someday yet, he'll begin his life again, life again, life again.
So the delay comes in more prominently. He gets a bit more aggressive and into it. And then all these things work together with the performance, with that harmony and everything. to create a really compelling overall sound. And this is one of my favorite Pearl Jam songs, largely because I think of the way the vocals were performed and presented. Let's go ahead and set some things up and work with the balance of these effects and my voice and see what happens. This isn't what they did because they were recording to tape, but we can use the tools available to us to get close and at least experiment and be inspired by it. Let's give it a try. Freezing, rests his head on a pillow made of concrete again. Now we're going to bring in a delay, and I've just got a real simple quarter note synced to the tempo, which is roughly 102. We're going to bring in this delay, and it's going to be really annoying when we first put it on, but when we bring it in and out in the correct places, it's going to be perfect. Freezing, rests his head on a pillow made of concrete again. We definitely don't want it on that whole time. We're going to automate the send to the reverb, the level going to the reverb. We're doing this instead of just worrying about the level of the reverb track itself, because we want to be able to have me sing and have portions of the delay over what is being sung presently. Let me demonstrate for you here. Freezing, rests his head on a pillow made of... We want it to be out here. You can do this with mutes too. Freezing, rests his head on a pillow made of concrete. Bring it like this, down just a little bit. We want that percussion of the delay, but we want to sense it. We don't necessarily want to hear it as much. Freezing, rests his head on a pillow made of concrete again. Now, if I do it this way, you can hear the delay of the zin coming over the top of rests his head on a pillow. So, freezing, rests his head on a pillow made of concrete. But rests his head on a pillow made of concrete is clean. If we leave this like this and simply mute the delay or automate the delay down after it has already been sent to the delay, here's what we get. Freezing, rests his head on a pillow made of concrete. It's a subtle difference, but it sounds cooler to have the send automated and let that delay be wide open so that information can trail over what's being sung. This is a key way to do a neat delay or automated delay throw. Freezing, rests his head on a pillow made of concrete. Oh, we don't know, so he chases them away. Oh, someday he'll begin his life again. Oh, we don't know, so he chases them away. Oh, someday he'll begin his life again. Oh, we don't know, so he chases them away. Oh, someday he'll begin his life again. There's delay on the lead vocal this whole time in the original, and there's that preverb thing happening. So I'm going to take the master track, now that I have the background vocals recorded, I'm going to slide it over and blend it into taste, fading it in and out here and there, and we're going to see this come together in a really cool way. Oh, we don't know, so he chases them away. Oh, someday he'll begin his life again. Maybe like this. See what happens when we do that. It's more than they did, but it's fun to experiment with. Oh, we don't know, so he chases them away. Oh, someday he'll begin again. Yeah, pretty nerdy, but pretty fun too to experiment with. All right, listening on. And keep those effects in mind as we continue here.
Life again, healing, looking through the paper though he doesn't know to read.
Now there was a reverse delay. It was the same sort of thing except for it was panned out. Did you hear it?
Healing, looking through the paper though he doesn't know to read.
They took that one little section and without the vocal crack in there, but going over and over again and then panning it out. Same idea. Band limited too, like we did.
Ooh, yeah. Oh, praying out to something that has never showed him anything. Oh,
there it is.
Understands the weather of the winter's on its way. Oh, ceilings, few and far between all illegal halls of shame.
Like how the reverb catches that preverb catches that part. It's cool. That's so wet, so diffuse, the reverb that they use there.
Even flow, thoughts arrive like butterflies. Oh, we don't know, so he chases them away. Someday, yeah.
Now listen here, the way he says life, he does this a lot. This is a very Eddie Vedder-ish thing to do.
Yeah, he'll begin his life again.
Let's talk about that thrown note. He'll begin his life again. He can totally do that, where life is a actual note, but he breaks up so obviously there, right? This is not, he'll begin his life again. It starts to sound like a clown if you do that. There's this extra manliness that happens when you break into that note. He'll begin his life again. Now, it takes, I said manliness on purpose because in order to get there and practice getting there, you have to kind of go the opposite direction. And I sort of just did it. We don't want to shy away from our voice completely falling apart. He'll begin his life again. We have to get to the point where we're willing and able to do that first. Total horribleness shall begin his life, and then rest in that in between. I've talked about this in a lot of my other videos. If you can't do the goofy yodeling thing, you can't do this kind of abandon because you don't know where to rest when you feel that crack coming on or that break. So we are able to abandon into this note, his life again, or oh yeah, where we have a clean note followed by a really broken up note. That's how we do it. We push our voice to the breaking point, let it crack, and lean in. Lots more information on how to do that effectively and habitually in my course, The Aggressive Vocalist Master Plan of Attack, which you'll find a link in the video information below on that video, on that lesson series as well. Here we go.
He'll begin his life again. Oh, his brand hands gently lead him away.
Guitars fade in.
In my way, in my way.
I love the delay panned over to the right that they do there. Now, one of my favorite Eddie Vedder moments of all time is coming up, and I just want to prepare you for it. It's the last sort of improv interaction he has with the band. So listen for it. I'll point it out too.
He'll begin his life again. Oh, his brand hands.
I like how the reverb or preverb picked up this improv thing he was doing here. This isn't the one, but
gently lead him away.
here we go.
In my way, in my way.
Yes. This section right here, just love it. Oh, yeah. The way the guitars and the way this, he fills the holes with his vocals. And I love the tone of that mixed note. It's a fun note just to go for. Hard onset. Yeah! Compression. And then he lightens it up with the ooh. His tone is unmatched. But going back and forth between that hard onset, yeah! And the ooh is really good for your voice. And it's fun to feel what it does as you vacillate between and then go into a nice improvisational chest thing, a hum. You're incorporating all your resonances. You're practicing blending. Yeah! Ooh! Oh, yeah! Yeah! Ooh! Oh, yeah! Yeah! Ooh! Oh, yeah! The point isn't to do exactly what he's doing. The point is to get into a groove yourself in those different areas of your voice. I also want to point out the letdowns. Yeah! Yeah! Ooh! There's a follow-through with his notes that he does really well. Chris Cornell does this really well as well. Thanks so much for joining me for this isolated vocal breakdown. Again, if you'd like more help with your voice, the best place to start is by clicking the link below and joining my free voice course. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, so that you're made aware of each video as they come out. And be sure to leave a comment and a like. Let's get a dialogue going about some of these cool effects and the way this song was performed. All right, we'll see you for more.